When I have a look at the image, I have the feeling that my black here is a little bit too black and my chrome is a little bit too bright. So I just switch here a little bit the attributes. So go to material attributes and I just decrease, so play button, decrease my brightness. Yeah, it's better. And here at the black, maybe I increase my specular color again, and maybe the black not too black. It's just a fine-tuning of adjustment. The roughness not so high. So now I have more the feeling that it is still black, yeah, but not so deep black that the light is actually going away. Okay. Then this is the basic setup. Now we can check, okay, what would the studios do if we change it a little bit. And for that, I will just switch here my render type because I want to compare different images. So, save my scene. I do renderings here with that render button. This is actually where you do your final rendering. So now let render, it's quite quick, it's okay. Of course I have to adjust here my position because I see, oops. So this is the look of the first studio. When you want to compare images, I always use here the button. This is called, is there a pop-up now? This saves the image. It's not saving, it's just a pre-saving. And now you got here a slider where you can compare them later on, the images. So I switch my studio just to show you. Go here to my sky dome and go here to color and change to another studio. Use the Studio 4, open and render it and see what happens and how does it change the look of our scene. You see that's much brighter. So because I have much more white in the image, so I can, for example, decrease the exposure a little bit when you don't want to have it too white. It always depends on the image if you can leave here intensity or exposure, it does more or less the same. So now it's getting a little bit brighter. Now you can compare what is the difference. Then keep image again. Then I change to Studio 8. You see here that Maya is creating a TX file. Don't use that. That's just Maya needs that or Arnold needs that. But it's not an image you can use for rendering. You see there's nothing. So Studio 8, do rendering. Now it's a little bit darker again. And you have other reflections. Keep image again, just to show you. 19. So that are the different studios where you can change your light effects. 19 is also quite nice. And now, of course, I adjust my image quality a little bit to get off the graininess. And of course, I rotate here my scene. And maybe I want to see also the white here. And I change the position of my light bulb that I can see everything here. So And if you want to see which part is rendered, actually, you can go to View, Camera Settings, Resolution Gate. Then you see which part you see right away in the rendering, and it's easier to adjust your scene. So now we have to do different things to get off the graininess. The first thing, go here to AI Skydome light shape, and change here the samples to 5. This is actually sending more light points, and the image will be more accurate into the scene. Okay, you can also put it to 10, but it will increase your render time. And all the settings now we take will increase your render time. That's the reason why you do it at the end, when you have everything set up and when you're happy with it. Before you do the final rendering, then you have to adjust here. Maybe we take 10 again, or 10. I just tried with 5 now. And the second thing we do is open up the render settings. Here we have now in the image size, you will render HD quality. Okay, where it is HD 1080. I leave it here just in a smaller resolution. And when you want to do a good print of a rendering, also change this here to 300, and because that's the points, the dots per inch. But I leave that all because everything else will take too long. And what will also have a massive impact on your graininess and on your renders is here the camera, diffuse, specular. These values, adjust them with ease. So when you set this to 544 and also open up here the render, the ray depth, this is more or less the value how deep a light point can go to glass. And maybe you change it to 3 here. This would actually, when you put 2 mirrors in front of each other, the light will bounce right away 1 million times and Maya will crash. That's the reason why the ray depth is here limited, so that it's not bouncing. So until Maya crashes, it just bounces 3 times through glass and through reflections. So, and when we now do a rendering, it will take longer. You see it was 70 seconds now, and now let's see what's happening. Well, finished. 3 minutes, quite okay. And you see what is the difference in the render quality, a massive one. Okay, I will keep the image. And what I actually didn't do is the background. There is still a Lambert 1 on it, the gray. So maybe I change this to white also. Assign material. So I forgot, sorry. Background. And what I can do, if you want to have it glossy, you can put the roughness to 1. And I try, maybe when I do such changes, I go back to my basic render settings, 322, that it doesn't take too long. And I do it also in the live renderer and see what's happening. Yeah, so that was what I wanted. The problem, of course, the whole studio is reflecting in it. And so when I put it to white, of course I have, okay, the metal, I think I don't need the metalness. That's, you see it's reflecting anyway, and we get a brighter background. So it depends on you if you want to have, if you don't want to have it too glossy, and you want to have it matte, put 1, or put the roughness to 0 when you want to have a glossy look. The second thing you can do, you can also get rid of the whole background so that you have a transparent background. You also need this maybe sometimes in when you do product renderings. You can also do it black, it's also cool. You can play around it with it, completely glossy. So just have fun with it, with the background. And what I want to say, how to get rid of the background. When you want to do an image without any background, of course, maybe you delete it. I just hide it here. Control, stop rendering. Control H. Now it's rendering with the background I have from the studio, but of course now it's white and I don't have any floor, but it's not perfectly white. I have to select here the East Kaido, and then you switch, I have it, yeah, here, the visibility. We have to change the visibility to the camera is now to 1. That means, okay, I see it. When I change the visibility here to 0, I don't see it, but it's still here affecting the diffuse or specular stuff here and all the lighting. So it does the lighting, but we can't see it. Now you have a black background here, but when you save the image, you shouldn't save it here. No, actually you can check it here. When you see here alpha channel, the alpha channel, it says, okay, where it is transparent and where it is not. And all channels is showing everything. And you can save also a file here, or when you do file save image, or save final images. I never do it here, actually. I always do the final rendering with this. And I just switch here back to my good settings and let it render. Right, so pause here, 4:4, and set it to 3:3. So close this one, and just for testing, I also change it to HD and see how long it takes. Now it's without background, it will be a little bit faster, but just let's see. So finished. Oh, not too long, render time 2 minutes. And you save your images. You go here to save image, open up the options. Be sure that you always have color managed image on, because when you save a raw image, it will be quite dark, okay? So just be sure that this is on, apply close. So file save image. It's also here, actually. And it goes to the images folder of your project. You can save it, it would be good when you save it there. Then you can actually, when you do an image with background, save it as JPEG or TIFF. And if you have an image without background, because now we have one without, save it as TIFF, because this is also saving the transparency. Lamp transparent. Okay, then save. And when I go here to my desk lamp, images, I have here my transparent lamp, and when I open it in Photoshop, you see we have a perfect background. So you can adjust here any background you want to have. Yeah, so you see there I have, of course, much more possibility. That's the way it is. As easy as that. So I hope you have now a rough overview on how to do product renderings with or without background, and so that every image or every model you will create in the future you can set up this way. Of course, there are a million other ways, and I will show you in the next years how you can do some different kind of rendering, but this is the basic stuff, and I hope it helps. If you want to do a rendering in a really good quality, so you can print it out on A4 or something, then do a rendering with more or less 4,000 to 3,000 pixels and 300 dots per inch if your computer can handle it. I'm just trying that now, how far I can go. I have now here some, I will do rendering on black just to see what is happening. And see here, yes, I have it on glossy. So, and do a test rendering. See, yeah, my render settings are fine. Also my sky dome. I adjust my samples to 10 to have it really perfect. And now I do a rendering. So I skipped it after 2 hours of render time. You see, when you want to render it in a really good quality, it takes time. And but of course, I opened it in Photoshop and I can zoom it quite deep, and it is still fine. So this you can print on A3 format as well. It would also be okay. But yeah, and on A4 it would be perfectly fine. Well, that's it.